Now, on the show next, back in October 2014, when my next guest, Catherine Meeson from Burley, was diagnosed with breast cancer, this was after a routine mammogram. Thankfully, the cancer was caught really quickly, and after undergoing grueling treatments, she was finally given the all clear. But the end of the treatment was just the beginning for Catherine, who was suddenly hit by the enormity of the situation. And then someone else enters, which makes things a whole lot better. Good afternoon, Catherine.
Good afternoon, Stephanie.
Welcome to the show. And that other, well, not person, but animal really changed things for you. And that's your horse, JD, isn't it?
He did. Yes, JD belongs to a charity that he most certainly did change my life. He's wonderful. I'm with JD now.
Oh, really?
Yes, he's just munching on an apple.
Can he make, look, they say on radio, never work with children or animals, because when you ask them to do something, they never perform.
They don't perform, but we will get into, we'll get some noise from JD.
We'll get some kind of noise or neigh or something or something from him.
Yeah.
Bless it. But tell us your story. So a routine mammogram reveals breast cancer, and at this point, you must have thought, gosh, felt like your whole world was falling apart.
I did, yeah, I really did. It was such a shock because when I got recalled for the second stage mammogram, there was no lump to be felt. I know how to self-examine, so I actually thought it's not going to be anything. Sure enough, then, of course, after a biopsy, I revealed that I had breast cancer. So I just couldn't take it in. Everything became very surreal, like this is actually happening to someone else. And I went into a very dark place. And I think it was about 2 months after treatment that I went to a cancer support group. I just needed to speak to people who had been through this because everyone after the end of treatment, they expect that your treatment's over now, get back on with life, try and put it behind you. But as you said, it was just the beginning for me. I was suddenly just hit with the enormity of the situation. And it was recommended equine therapy, which I'd loved horses as a child. I didn't quite know how equine therapy worked, but oh wow, me and JD very quickly built up a very strong bond. And he was rescued from a very dire situation, and I think we kind of helped rescue each other as well. And he certainly helped me through the worst time in my life.
Gosh, this is why we want to speak to you this afternoon, because when we go through life-changing situations, it's sometimes the most kind of, what's the way of putting it? Almost like things that you wouldn't expect, that makes you feel better. Speaking to friends, getting therapy, all sorts of stuff like that would be the normal route. But to go down the route that you have, and a horse, believe it or not, making you feel, can you kind of describe for us how he has made things better for you in your recovery?
That's him in the background, by the way.
I can just heard him then, actually.
Yes, that is JD.
Oh, gosh.
He made things better. It's a cross between a Shire and a Clydesdale, so he's a very big horse, but he's very kind and gentle. And despite all the noises that he's making, he's a very kind horse. And all I have to do is go in the stable with him, and he gives me a hug, and he does that by putting his head right over my shoulder and pulls me towards him. And everything just melts away, because we all have bad days, and especially the last year. And he can just let that bad day go away. And all my stress away.
Yeah, this is the thing, isn't it? Equine therapy just helps you connect with an animal. It's not another human being that you've got to connect with, because there's something about, just talking personally, I went through a really tough time. And my old cat, I had a black and white cat called Dave. And I had my head in my hands, and I was screaming. I was against my kitchen cabinets, and I got my head in my hands and I was screaming. Now, usually, if you're screaming, an animal's going to run away from you, aren't they?
Yeah, especially a cat.
Yeah, and he literally came up at the side of me and just curled up in a ball next to me. And
that is wonderful.
But they just know, like JD the horse, they just have this innate ability to just connect with us, don't they?
Yeah, they do. They do. and it's a connection that I have with him. It's a very special connection. It didn't happen straight away. It took time. You know, we got to know each other, and I just fell in love with this horse. Absolutely.
And do you ride together?
No, JD's not broken to ride. Now, what I can do, and I have done on like many occasions, I can go in the stable and I can actually sit on JD. Now, most horses would throw you off instead of not being broken to ride, not JD. And that's because of how much trust he has with us. He will just stand in his stable and let me happily sit on his back.
How old is he, JD?
He's 8 years old.
Gosh. And you said it is a cross between a Shire
and a Clydesdale.
And a Clydesdale.
So it's very big, but like I said, very gentle.
Oh, I'm loving hearing these noises.
Yeah, that's JD in the background.
Now, you after treatment, got the all clear.
Yeah.
But this is why routine mammograms are so important, aren't they? Because yes,
Absolutely.
we know how to self, you know, feel around our breasts for lumps and all sorts of stuff like that. But routine mammograms can show things that we can't feel with our fingers.
That's true. Yeah, they can. And I try and I beg people, you know, friends of mine who say, oh, I just had one 3 years ago. No, you must go. You must have another one.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, the reason I'm here today is because of the mammogram and because of cancer research that developed a drug called Herceptin. And that will actually reduce the chances of it coming back by a third. And this is why I want to give so much back to Cancer Research UK through Race for Life at Home, which I'm doing, Race for Life at Home, on the farm with JD. We've got 62 acres to walk around here. And Cancer Research UK, like many charities, have lost money during the pandemic.
Yes, they have.
Can't get funding, so I would urge people, please Google how to get a Race for Life pack, and you can walk, not everyone's going to walk with a horse, but with a dog, on your set, by yourself. That's him again. You got loud sound effects now from him.
Yeah, I'm going to say I'm not using the BBC sound effects library here or anything like that. No, this is actually JD who's with Catherine Meeson at the stables this afternoon. Oh wow, he sounds such a happy horse as well.
He is. He's a very happy horse. Next to him, he's got Jack, who's his best friend, who was also another rescue, and they're very close to those two. And
you mentioned that JD had a pretty tough start in life as well.
Oh, very tough. He was probably just a couple of days away from starvation. He'd been abandoned in a field and was brought to Carol, who founded the Equine Pathways charity. And it took 16 months just to get him back on his feet. She had to feed him every 2 hours, and that's like during the night as well, little and often, to get him back to some kind of health. And she wasn't even sure at the beginning he was going to make it, but she saw a spark in his eyes and said that told her that this horse wants to live. And oh boy, he wanted to live, and I'm so glad for all the effort that Carol put into the horse we've got today. Is tremendous.
Yeah, and your friends and family must be so proud of you and your connection with JD.
They are. They found it very difficult. They couldn't understand what was happening to me, and at the end of treatment, when I just kind of spiraled, and I think it's because I wouldn't accept it. I was like in this bubble of surrealism throughout the treatment. So when it ended, and there was no more hospital appointments, that's, like I said, when the enormity hit me, and I was in a very bad place.
Yeah,
but no one can understand. You know, the people that haven't gone through it find it very hard to understand what's happening to you.
But there may be someone this afternoon, Catherine, who's been through cancer treatment, and the cancer treatment has been hugely successful. They've then received the news that everyone who's going through cancer treatment wants to, you know, when you ring that bell, you finish the treatment and you get told the good news that you're free of cancer and everything's okay. But actually what happens after that, and what happened to you, was, you know, you said you lost your zest for life almost, didn't you?
I did, yeah, absolutely.
What was going through your mind at this point?
I thought I was going mad at one point, because I'd been to concerts with, you know, thousands of people, and then suddenly I couldn't even be in a supermarket that was crowded. They were out the door having a panic attack, and I was anxious all the time, and that isn't just how I used to be. I quickly realised that things were never going to be the same again, that I was never going to be the same again, and I had to find a way to get through it. But there is no quick fix for this. Lots of people suffer at the end of treatment. That's what I discovered. You kind of have to go with it one day at a time. That's what I kept telling myself. and push yourself a little bit more one day at a time, because the thing to remember, it's temporary. It's not going to last forever. It's temporary. And it's a reaction to what you've been through.
And now you want to do your bit and you want to raise some money for Cancer Research UK. So you're completing your own 5K to raise funds for cancer research with JD, the horse that got you through the emotional side of the recovery as well. So, and you're going to join small and socially distanced groups this month, actually, to raise money for life-saving research, aren't you?
Yes, absolutely.
If people want to donate...
Like I said, without cancer research, there's a lot of us that wouldn't be here today. But,
well, of course, yeah. If people want to donate to you or Cancer Research, is there a particular Just Giving page, or should they just head over to Cancer Research website?
The Cancer Research website, so if they Google that, Cancer Research UK, Race for Life, and all the details are on there. Amazing.
Catherine, it's been so wonderful to speak to you this afternoon. It's been really uplifting and wonderful, and great to hear JD in the background as well.
Yeah.
So what's that? Are you going to spend a few more hours with him this? Do you see him every single day?
I come down here 3 full days a week to look after JD and the rest of the gang that we've got here at the charity. But I miss him when I'm not here.
And the charity with the horses, let's give them a big shout out and a plug as well. And because all charities have suffered, haven't they? If people want to donate to the equine charity, where should they go?
Equine Pathways UK website, there is a donate button on there that they can use.
So equinepathways.co.uk, and you can hit the donate button there.
Yes. Yeah.
Amazing. Catherine, so good to talk to you, and have a gorgeous day, and lots of love to JD as well.
Thank you so much.
Take care, lovely. BBC Radio Leeds. How joyous was that?